Good morning. This is RCB News, and I am Brian Bowler, and I want to get right down to the news at hand. I want to deal with an issue that's baffling a lot of people, that's confusing a lot of people, that's frustrating a lot of people. A lot of people are arguing about the reasoning behind this, and that is the idea of defunding the police. Why would so many of these local governments strive in defunding the police? What sense does that make? People are baffled in many counties. People are baffled. They're angry. They're frustrated. I was reading a portion of an article just earlier today, actually, and I was reading a portion of an article, I think it's in Portland, Seattle, where the mayor is reneging on their objective of defunding the police now, and they want to try to bring that money back and bring the police officers back. And the reason for that is because homeless people in that particular region are attacking employees and are attacking employees from these different businesses, attacking them, assaulting them, and so forth. And it has really, really gotten so bad that, according to the article, that these corporations, these businesses are hiring security officers to escort these people to their cars and to their place of residence. They're getting personal escorts because it has gotten so bad in Seattle, Portland, because of the defunding of the police objective of that mayor, that they have decided to hire, these companies and businesses have decided to hire security officers to escort them to their place of residence and their place of employment. So now the mayor, according to this article, the mayor is now reneging on this and trying to bring back the money and finances. But the problem is that the police force has decreased so bad that it's a little bit too late now. Excuse me. It's a little bit too late now. So now they're in a real ruckus right now. And this whole idea of defunding the police have run people just, excuse me, give me a little swig here. Nice orange juice. Getting a little cold here. It's not COVID. It's not COVID. Whatever, whatever happened? Why is everything COVID now? Nothing, what happened to the cold and the flu? And what happened to that? All of a sudden, everything's a COVID now. You get this runny nose, it's COVID. You get sick, it's COVID. What's going on here? They playing us, y'all. They playing us, but that's another story, and I digress. This whole idea of defunding the police has just gotten so crazy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit logic. So the fundamental question that I want to try to answer is, why is there such a push to defund the police? You know you're not going to get anything good out of it. You know you're not going to decrease crime if you take money away from the police departments and put it in community services and so forth. You think that's going to stop crime? It has not. Crime has increased in a lot of these cities all over the country. And to share something with you guys, I live in the city of Cleveland, Ohio. And I was talking to one of my fellow employees yesterday, and he was sharing with me one of the police officers that works for CMHA, which is the Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority, told him that their police force have gone down from 100, because this is a local police, it's a local, localized separate police department. But he stated that the CMHA Housing Authority have went down from 100 police officers to a mere 25 police officers. And then I asked my coworker, I said, well, why is that? Did the former police officer tell you why? And he said the reason for that was because a lot of the police officers were discouraged. Their hands are tied. They can't do anything. They can't make any real arrests for real criminals in the city. So they're like, forget it. What's the point? What's the point in being law enforcement if we can't enforce the law? So they're leaving. So needless to say, I'm pretty sure that if you only down by 20, down from 100 police officers to 25 police officers, I'm pretty sure that criminals in that particular area are going to take advantage of that. So the thing is, what's going on here? Why is this illogical step that most people in this country are against is being pushed by mayors, the federal government, and the state government, and state governments, and many states in this country? Why is there such a push to defund this? And what I came to the possible realization of is that I was reading a section of a book that I purchased some time ago from Epoch Times. It's called How the Specter of Communism is Ruling Our World. How the Specter of Communism is Ruling Our World. I think I may have shared this information with you guys some time ago, but this actually comes in 3 volumes. And these books I highly recommend them. They are an awesome source of information to help people understand the origins of communism, of communism, what it is, what progressivism is, and what socialism is. It mostly deals with communism and socialism and the two, how they're connected and tied together. But it's an excellent source of information. But there's a section in this book in chapter 10 that deals with that's entitled Restricting Law Enforcement. And I'm not going to read that. I'm just going to summarize it to you. In that particular section, the authors of this particular book states that the reason why there's such a attack on restricting law enforcement is because it's in a planned attempt by communist insurgents and communist sympathizers to bring about moral chaos, to destabilize the cities to the point where the people are so frustrated, the people are so angry, the people are so mad that they're willing to accept anything the government gives them. So according to this source, which I personally believe is true, because these editors and writers of this book know more about communism than anybody in America, because many of them came from communist China, communist countries, communist China in particular. So they know what it's all about. And so their argument is that the reason for this restriction of law enforcement is because is to create moral chaos in the cities. Needless to say, if you have less police officers, more than likely you're going to have more crime. And that is exactly what is happening. That's not somebody's opinion. That's a fact. It's not, well, that's some conservative's opinion. That's not a conservative's opinion. That's a fact. You can't deny that. There's a direct correlation between a decrease in law enforcement and an increase in crime. Clearly, criminals are taking advantage of that. And it's a sad, sad situation. And many police officers, not only in the city of Cleveland where I live, but in other places like Portland, Seattle, and other places, are discouraged, and they're leaving these cities because even if the defunding of the police force and police departments is not necessarily causing them to quit, it's discouraging them. It's discouraging them to the point where they don't feel, what's the point? They're like, well, why bother to try to arrest any of these people? Why bother responding to calls speedily? Why bother? So this defunding of the police and restricting law enforcement has a twofold purpose: to discourage the masses, that's the regular normies like you and I, to discourage us and destabilize us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and to discourage the law enforcement officers, make them feel like their job is purposeless, that there's no point in it. When you keep voting for these kind of people, you're going to keep getting these kind of results. You keep voting for these progressive liberals, you're going to keep getting this kind of stuff. That's what you're going to get. You keep voting for them. That's why I do. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do. That's one of the reasons why I share what I share. Because even though it's my opinion, at the end of the day, it's my opinion. It's an informed opinion. It ain't something just coming off the top of my head because I ain't got nothing else better to talk about. Okay? I can preach the Bible. I do that all the time. I can teach the Bible. I do that all the time. So I can do that. But that's not the motive of this channel. The motive of this channel is to inform people politically, to inform you about communism and socialism and its encroachment upon our cities and our states in this country, to make people aware of it. Because the more people that are aware, the more we can push against it. The power of the people. The communists, I'm talking power to the people. Communists are always talking about power to the people, power to the people. No, power to the real people. The power to the people is taking back your country. That's the power to the people. It isn't the power to the people to take capital, to go and take people's property from them, because capitalism is destroying the country. Capitalism isn't destroying the country. Communism is. The encroachment of quiet communism. So according to this passage here, If that's true, which I believe it is, then that's the reason, in part, why we're seeing this illogical step of defunding the police. Because we got to understand, I believe that government works off of a hierarchy, and that hierarchy of authority operates off of a pyramid concept. Now, I know this sounds conspiratorial, so I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat here for a moment. But according to some historians, the pyramid on the back of your dollar bill, that dates all the way back to ancient Egypt. Why in the world is an ancient Egyptian pyramid on the back of the dollar bill? That's a whole nother story. We're not Egyptians. I don't know what Americans. But anyway, according to historians, some historians, that's a hierarchical pyramid. It represents authority. At the top of the pyramid, you will see a capstone with an eye in the center of it. That eye in the center of that capstone, according to some historians, is the eye of providence. Now, the eye of providence, some historians interpret that to be the eye of God, that God is watching over this country. Others interpret that eye to be the eye of Lucifer, the fallen angel that was cast out of heaven. Now, I ain't gonna go into detail about that, but I'm just telling you what these historians believe. Now, other historians believe that at the top of that pyramid is the eye of Lucifer. Underneath that is orders of hierarchy. Okay, you got your secret societies, and then you have government officials, and then you have teachers and state representatives and local representatives that go all the way down to the lowest, which is, I believe, wards, city council wards, I believe, and maybe even lower than that. Correct me in the correction of the comment box if I'm incorrect on that. But it works off of a grid, which means that this whole works off of grid works off of a hierarchical level of information, which means that the people that are these officials that are defunding the police may be getting their information from higher ups. In other words, they're doing what they're told to do. We're told to do this because there's some greater objective. There's some greater vision. We're only doing what we're told to do. They don't have the bigger picture. The ones on the top of the pyramid, they have the bigger picture. They see the bigger picture. They have an objective, a goal, and perhaps that objective and goal is to bring about a one world communist government. Okay? And in order to do that, you have to bring order out of chaos. You have to create a chaos situation and then bring order in it. So this whole idea of defunding the police could be, in my opinion, an attempt, and according to the information in this book, that's well researched, you can look at the resources in the back of it if you decide to buy it, could be based on a communist attempt to completely destabilize the society, to bring you down morally and get you to the point where you'd be so tired of crime and so tired of the rigmarole that you wouldn't accept whatever the government give you. You'll be willing to give up your rights, whatever. I don't care. Just bring me safety. That's the whole point, to demoralize you. But don't let them demoralize you. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is, as I said some time ago, more and more people are becoming aware of what's going on. The more people become aware of what's going on, the more we can push back. There is hope, people. There is hope. This is not a hopeless situation. They seem like they have the upper hand because they own and control most of the media outlets, but they do not have the upper hand all the way. Anything is possible if you keep pushing. They keep pushing. I'm not going to preach to you. This is not what this is about. But let me just give you a scriptural reference. The book of Romans chapter 12 says, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. In this instance, evil is the evil of communism. Good is exposing what communism is and promoting conservative values. That's the good. The good is exposing the evil of communism and giving people the option of conservative values and promoting capitalism. But be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. They're going to keep doing what they're going to keep doing. We need to keep doing what we need to keep doing by the grace of God and by his strength and empowerment. So I just wanted to bring that out to you guys. There is hope, but perhaps this whole idea of defunding the police is a communist attempt from the higher ups to destabilize the society in order to get people so discouraged that they're willing to accept whatever the government gives them, which will be ultimately a one world communist socialist government. But what do you guys think about all of this in terms of the defunding the police? What is your opinion on this? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think that the locals should defund the police? Do you think that's a good thing? I mean, we should hold police officers that abuse their authority and power. They should be held responsible. But I personally believe that that's the responsibility of the department, not the federal government, to come in and use that as a justification to take control of the local police departments. But that's another story, and I'm not going to get into that, and I digress. But the point is, what do you guys think? Whatever your thoughts are on this whole issue of defunding the police, please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, share this video, and subscribe. God bless you all, and see you again on RCB News.